say you're better off just being quiet. Truly. I'm always coming across studies, and I came across this fascinating study that they found that women with large butts live longer than men who mention it. Again, language, okay? So, I'm going to share with you. Gary was such a man of conviction and such a visionary and such a man of faith. See, Gary gave us an oil called Believe. And if you look at the word believe, it's be alive in. How powerful a word is that? But also, in the middle of the word is the word lie. Because when you believe something, you're lying to yourself until it manifests, correct? Guess what that is? That's faith. Gary was a man of faith. He believed in his visions and Young Living for all of us. He created this when there was nothing. See, it's a fascinating thing. When I was introduced to Young Living by Mary, the whole world of aromatherapy was just known as aromatherapy. There was no essential oils. You guys got to get this. It was just aromatherapy. And guess what is the most famous perfume in the world? Chanel No. 5. Do you know why? It was the first adulterated perfume. History. I can prove it. The first adulterated perfume. You put that on in the morning, you smell like it, you smell like it just that night. You put an essential oil on your body, it mixes with your pheromones, it's volatile, and maybe by the end of the day, you don't even smell it. Is that correct? Yes. What is that? Chanel, what does that do? It just sits on your skin. What do you think that does for your liver? That's a whole other class. So this is about faith and believing. We literally have to see ourselves as we choose to be. So now, in the last little bits of this class, what I'd like to do is share with you about rapport. And I had the honor at the convention this year to teach rapport building skills. And actually, there's a small little rapport building book at LSP. Because I believe that these are skills that you need to learn for this industry. Mary shared with you that I was shy. I'm an introvert. Ask my daughter. My children say I would live in a cave. It's true. I'm the person that I go into the room and I turn the lights off. My whole family comes in, they turn the lights on. I was very shy. I stuttered. I was ridiculed, extreme ridicule my whole life going through school because I couldn't talk. And actually, my love of Mary in the very beginning, she used to coach me on the words. I remember the first time on stage, I talked about sesquiterpenes. And I honestly don't know what I actually said, but I know that Mary took me in the back and she held both my hands. And she looked at me and she goes, now say it, sesquiterpenes. And she used to do that for Gary too. And I knew that she did that because she loved me. And she cared for me. But I'm going to share with you, if I can, 27 years in this company, a PhD, 2 PhDs, talking in front of lots of people, and I can get up here and say something that doesn't even make sense, what does that tell you you could do? Right. Do you guys get this? Yes. Sometimes we don't have all the greatest words, but it's what's in our heart. Do you know something that I discovered about the heart? Do you know what is the first muscle developed in utero after the heart? Brain? Your tongue. Oh. Your tongue is actually part of your heart. Is that amazing? So when you align your words with your heart, it's amazing what can happen in your life. Some of you that heard this talk before, you getting something a little bit new? Okay. So body language is a very powerful tool. If we had body language before we had speech, Apparently 80% of what you understand in a conversation is read through the body, not through words. Have you ever had a conversation with someone and you ask them a question and the whole time they're doing this, but they're saying yes? Their body is telling you the truth. So they're actually saying no. Do you guys understand that? So it's congruency of aligning our body with our words. So I give all resources. LSP does not have these books. You can get them. But I learned a great deal of this from a woman by the name of Naomi Tickle. She wrote a book. You can read a face by book. And then Amazing Face Reading. I actually have a whole library of body language and face reading books. These are just two. But if you're going to start to learn this, these are two great resources. So I'm going to share with you, if you've noticed, I've been walking around the room the last couple of days. Anybody notice? I've just been kind of walking around. Because one of the things I'm doing is I'm looking at your faces. And one of the first things that I look at, I'm going to share with you 3-4 things today, very quickly, that I feel that you can walk away from this presentation with that could create instant rapport. Would that be powerful for you? Yes. Would that be powerful for you? Yes. Thank you. Stay with me. This is important, okay? I first look to see if your forehead goes straight up or if it's slanted. Now, if the thank you, there's another sneeze. So if the forehead goes straight up, these are people that are much more kinesthetic. Meaning that if I'm going to teach you the compensation plan, and how many of you heard Liz this morning teaching the compensation plan? Because she did an excellent job. Okay? If I'm going to teach you the compensation plan and you have a straight up forehead, I got to make sure you got every step before I go to the next step.
Yes. Yes.
If I'm going to teach you chemistry, I got to make sure you have every step before I teach you the next step. You guys get this?
Yes.
Now the ones with the slanted foreheads, they would love to have every step before you do the next step. But guess what? They're a little bit quicker on their feet and they can catch themselves up. What do you think my forehead is? Slanted. I'm quick on my feet. If we have a fire in this building, you should follow me out. The ones with the straight foreheads, if they know where the door is, follow them out. Yeah. All of our doctors and hospitals, check them out. They have straight up foreheads. They are genius after they've got it. But you got to make sure they've got it first. You got it? Go into an emergency room and look at the foreheads of the doctors in an emergency room. All their foreheads are slanted. They're quick on their feet, doing all kinds of things. You have a small child today that is being labeled in the world. I've had the opportunity through Young Living to go to Japan 3 times, and guess what? In their language, they have no word for retarded. Guess what that means as a culture? They have no
retarded people.
Do you guys understand what we do in the United States with labels?
Right. Yep.
Look at how we're labeling our children today. You get how powerful that is? So if you have a child that has a little bit of a learning challenge in school today, look at their foreheads, and I will bet you 10 out of 10 they're all straight up. Because their world is about feeling. And our schools are based on visual and based on auditory. And no one's asking these children how they feel about what they just saw or heard. And guess what? It's a foreign language to them. Is that powerful? Yes. So if I'm teaching to a bunch of people that are Young Living and I see a lot of straight up foreheads, what am I going to do? I'm just going to slow down my presentation. And that's really difficult when I'm timed. So I'll leave some things out. Okay? So, I'm just going to share with you a couple of things here. Exposed eyelids. This is powerful for me. Because does everybody know where your eyelid is? First, we need to know that you know that, right? When you can see the eyelid, when it is exposed, these are people that are bottom liners. Get to the point. Have you ever known someone to talk themselves out of a sale? Yes. You keep talking, you talk yourself right out of it. Where you see that you cannot see the eyelid, these are people that are analytical. They need a lot of information. So you know what's fascinating about the face? If I were to take a piece of paper and everybody in the room put a piece of paper up and show one side of your face with the other, you ever notice that one side of the face is a little different than the other? one side's your mother's personality and one side's your father's personality. And you came into the world with who? From mom and dad. Whether you know mom or dad or not, you came in and these are their God-given assets that they gave you to live your life today. So the right side of your face is your work. It's how the world sees you. Jill, will you come on up here, please, to the stage? And the left side of your face is your feeling world, your personal world. So if it's extremely different, the medical world calls you bipolar. Because, just come on over to the stairs.
Another label.
But if you literally have a little difference in one side and the other, and you notice that your parents' personality was extremely different, in the world of face reading, I just call you a swinger. Is that amazing?
Yes.
So you're going to go to mother and father. Gary Young had one eyelid that was exposed and one eyelid that was covered. But for the most part, when I talked to Gary, he was a bottom liner. He wanted just that information. But then when it was something that he really wanted to know more about, guess what? Man, we stayed. We stayed there. Because he needed everything he could get about that. Amazing, right? Mm-hmm. So wouldn't that be important to see with the face? So if I have somebody who's got both eyelids, then I'm going to make sure that I'm there answering them, right? If it's a bottom liner, I'm going to give them bullet points of what they need. If it's somebody that I can't see the eyelids, I'm going to give them my firstborn, my blood, my email, my phone number, my address, because they're going to have lots of information. Okay? Now, Jill, do you and I know each other? No, we don't know each other at all, right? We've never really met. Did she go back a little bit? Did you see that? Why did I pick Jill up there in the audience? Because Jill's eyebrows are a little bit higher. And let me share something. You only have one chance to make a first impression. So Jill would love a little bit of space around her. Is this comfortable? Yes. You see that? Very clearly. Is this comfortable? Not as much. Do you guys get that, how important it is? So have you ever met someone in your life that for some reason you just didn't like them? It's because they got in your space. So look at eyebrows very first. Can we give Jill a great big hand? So when the eyebrows are really low, they let people in very, very quickly. When the eyebrows are a lot taller, like Oprah's, like Mary Young's, like even mine, like even Luba's, we like a little bit of space. Sherry Ross? Actually, we're a little confronted when somebody comes right up into our face. But when people have low eyebrows, they just jump right in and they think everybody's like them. Do you see how important this could be in your business? Okay, language is very powerful. Language does not describe reality. Language creates the reality it describes. I love you all. Thank you very much.